Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Brendan, and in today's video, we'll be discussing my first 2 weeks at Flatiron's UX Bootcamp online. Let's talk about it. For those of you that are just joining me, I recently started Flatiron's UX Bootcamp online on October 21st, and in today's video, I'll be discussing the first 2 weeks. That way you get a little insight into what I've been going through. Throughout my experience, I'm going to be posting update videos every other week. And on those other off weeks, I'm going to be posting UX related or Flatiron related content. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments in the questions below. I'm going to use those as a way to put that into the curriculum of videos that I'll be posting. So let me tell you a little bit more about the program just to give you some background if you haven't done your research yet. Essentially, there are a few different options to attend Flatiron UX Bootcamp. You can attend it online or in person, part-time or full-time. Me personally, I'm doing it online and I'm doing it part-time, which is going to be around 42 weeks of work throughout the 5 phases, and that's about 10 months or so, just to give you a perspective. As I mentioned, there are 5 phases. The first phase is the design essentials, then it's process phase, studio phase, client phase, and then career phase. In that first phase, design essentials, which is what I'm going through right now, you'll be learning the fundamentals of UX, user interface, interaction design, and information architecture. And just to give you a little bit more background, the first phase is going to be attended part-time regardless of whether you attend full-time or part-time after those 6 weeks. So everyone starts part-time, and that is about 20 to 30 hours of work a week that they are telling us that it should take. And then after those 6 weeks, you get to decide whether you're going to focus in on UX or UI design within the process phase and throughout the program. So now let's talk about the first 2 weeks. So in the first 2 weeks, the first week you're going to learn about the UX design fundamentals, and the second week you're going to be focused in on interaction design. So on day one, which will be a Monday, you're going to attend your first live instruction, and then there's going to be an hour-and-a-half long instruction. The first hour goes into the program, gives you a lot more information that you will need to know for the future, things that the instructors expect to see, and just more details and information. And then the last 30 minutes, they'll be discussing the upcoming assignments that you have for that week, so you know what to expect and you know how to complete those assignments. Each week you're going to have one live lecture to attend in real time, and then you're going to have other pre-recorded lectures that you can watch in your spare time throughout the week. I'm going to make a video specifically about live lectures and pre-recorded lectures down the road, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. In the first week, you have 4 assignments. Really, it's only 3. One of them is a setup, just setting up your Google Drive, but you have 3 assignments due in that first week. Now, assignments are due every Wednesday and Sunday. Usually it's half and half, so if it's 3 assignments, you might have 2 due on Wednesday and 1 due on Sunday, for example. And the idea is they want you to work on it every day for a little bit at a time rather than putting it off to the last minute. And that's something you're going to hear your instructor say over and over again. In the first week, we worked on a competitive and comparative analysis. We worked on user interviews and a primary persona. What we're doing is we're actually building a travel app. So we wanted to do this early upfront research on what we're going to be building. Each week, what I'm going to do is share one specific deliverable that I've worked on. So for example, every update video, you're going to see 2 deliverables, one from the first week, and the second week, you're going to see the other deliverable. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the competitive and comparative analysis sheet that I worked on. So let's check out what I've been doing. So thanks for joining me, guys. As I mentioned in the video, I'm going to be covering the competitive and comparative analysis as well as domain research that I've been doing for the travel app that we have for this first 6 weeks. We're creating a travel app called Bon Voyage. And so what I had to do is do some early stage direct and indirect competitor and comparative analysis. You get a template when you're creating this assignment, but you're expected to take the template and make it much easier to use and obviously fill out the whole thing. Now, they give you feedback after every assignment that you work on. I haven't made any adjustments to that, and as you can see, I made a revision copy, which is something I'll be working on today. So essentially, you have to pull whichever 6 competitors you feel are relevant, and then
there is a ton of information that you have to go and fill out. I was told I don't actually have to keep text for no's. I can just simply remove that. So if you're going to do this assignment, that's what I would do. I filled out a ton of information. As you can see, it spans all the way over to Airbnb. So this was really helpful for me. Felt like this was great early stage research, and the takeaways is probably the most important. This is how it should have been formatted, so I'll be fixing it today. And then domain research, essentially what it is over here. Sorry if you can't see it. Let me see if I can move that. There we go. So it's just a summary of research that you've done based on resources, and this is how I'll be formatting it. Just to prove the concept of the app, I mean, ultimately, you want to make sure that you have reasons and support to build something rather than just you think it's something that's important. So this is the first one that I created, and we'll be covering another one here shortly.
In the second week, we actually have 4 assignments. I worked on the user problems and user stories, 685 sketching, the application map, and the mobile paper prototype. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing the 685 sketching, so let's take a look at that.
So in the second week, as I mentioned, we're going to be covering the 685 sketching that I worked on. The idea for this is you want to start to create 6 to 8 screens in 5 minutes that will essentially represent your app. So you start to work it out. It's very difficult to do the very first time you do it. So don't have expectations that it's going to take you 5 minutes to get to 6 to 8 screens. It really probably took me 10 minutes per, but that's okay. They expect you to take more time. The idea is to get to the 5 minutes once you're a professional. So uh, the first one I worked on here might be challenging to see it, but essentially you fold up the piece of paper and then you move here and number them as far as what you think the app should look like. And then I put a description for each so you can get some context into it. I might have put too much text for the assignment, but I felt like I just wanted to get all of the details on this page. And I might have to make some revisions for the next just for iterations purposes. You want to make these revisions so when you go back to look at your documents, they're clean and they're simple and they're only saying exactly what you need. So I had to do 3 of these. As you can see, here's the second one. And I think my favorite one actually is the third one that I drew up. And the only reason I think I lean this way is because I had this idea of creating packages like a travel agent might do, and I felt like this was just a really creative way of solving the problem, but it may not be the one I go with. So this is the 685 sketching. Just get some early ideas out there, and thanks for tuning in.
Now, there are plenty of features that I'm going to be covering throughout the program that I haven't touched on in this video, so make sure to stay tuned. In next week's video, I'm going to be talking about the admissions process in detail so you know what to expect when you go through the application process. So if you have questions about that, please leave them in the comments below so I can address those in that video. So with that said, please like the video, subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell for notifications. Leave any questions or comments, whether it's about the upcoming video or anything else, and I'll make sure to address them as soon as I can. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you then.